What's good, y'all? Elite live streams. We back with another one, man. And I'm here today. I got some time today, so we gonna double up the live streams today. I already did one, and I'm back with another one. But this one is kind of breaking news, right? Because yesterday we talked about Candace Owens, what was going on with her, and how she was feeling towards Erika Kirk. But it looks like she might have caved, man. I don't know what's going on, man. There's a lot going on around here, man. Like I said, the corruption and the overall outlook is it's getting crazy, man. I don't know what's going on, but a lot of people are not happy with how Candace Owens has been handling this situation. And it definitely looks like there's something going on. A lot of people are not happy with what, I guess the meeting that Candace had with Erika Kirk. Erika flies all the way out to Tennessee. She goes to meet up with Candace. And apparently, after that meeting, a lot of people aren't really happy with what the results are. They think that Candace might be compromised now. And we're going to talk about it, man, because like I said, I told y'all that Candace is a grifter. I told y'all that she's not who y'all think she is. And I told you guys that at any point, if she's talked to by the right people, she's going to be able to step back and do what she wants, which is to be a part of that establishment, right? So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, because like I said, I don't care either way, but it's just fun for me to be able to expose Candace for the grifter that she is and the overall BS that she's been pulling over everyone's eyes. She's trying to make herself seem like she's exposing these people and blah, 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 blah. But what I told you guys was the only reason why she was doing that was because she was on the outside looking in. But now that they want to extend an olive branch, now that Candace has been talked to, she got a good talking to from Miss Erika Kirk, maybe things might be different. We might be looking at a different perspective here, guys. I don't know. But what we're going to do, we're going to assess the situation, and we're going to bring the receipts like we always do over here at Elite Media, and we're going to react to it, because that's just what we do. We have fun with this. And like I told you guys, it's always fun for me to expose this BS for what it is. And it's going to suck because, at the end of the day, it's just part of the course. A lot of people like to, put so much onus on these people. They put them on pedestals and all this other stuff. And we're not going to do that here at Elite Media. Everybody is a suspect. Nobody is above the next person. And so salute to Sabby Sabs for, great video. Salute to her. And we're going to talk about this. So let's get into it.
People were asking for this meeting with Candace Owens and Erika Kirk, and it was signed, sealed, and delivered. And now we know what took place during that meeting. I got to say this right off the bat. I looked at the live chat for the very first time while Candace was discussing what took place at that meeting. And yeah, some people were not happy with the way that things went. We're going to get into all of that. Now, of course, it all started out with this announcement from Erika Kirk, where she said, Candace Owens and I are meeting for a private in-person discussion on Monday, December 15th. Candace and I have agreed that public discussions, live streams, and tweets are on hold until after this meeting. I look forward to a productive conversation. Thank you.
Now, the funny part is, initially when this happened, a lot of people were saying that Erika was, bending the knee, and that, she was, afraid of, and my perspective was, there was no reason for her to set up this meeting if it wasn't going to be beneficial. Because she could have stayed in the background and just continued her little press tour, whatever. But I think the strategic move was for her to find a way to silence Candace and be able to use Candace and her platform to do whatever they want to do over at Turning Point. That was my perspective since day one. And I already knew that this was coming, but it's just funny that it came so fast, because I thought Candace was going to stand on business, but it doesn't look like that. It looks like she might be compromised, y'all.
Yeah. Then it was interesting. This whole thing about productive conversation, because people were tracking this like for reals. Okay. Project Constitution was tracking what they.
All right, we got somebody in the chat. Salute to Julia Collins. Let's see here. She said, I'm taking my kids to Turning Point AmFest this year. We are excited to see comedian Russell Brand. He's charged with 3 counts of R word and 2 counts of XA. His trial is scheduled for June. Hey, I don't know if you're being like sarcastic, Miss Julia, or what, but like I would suggest that you don't do that if you have children. I would suggest that you keep your children at home and not expose them to people who are accused of said crimes. And I would also be remiss not to say to protect yourself, because I don't necessarily know what the security is going to look like there, if you know what I mean. But go at your own risk is what I would say. But that's hilarious because, I mean, yeah.
Believed to be Erika's private jet. So I guess Turning Point has a private jet. Like, Jesus Christ.
Sabi, you guys, they just generated $140 million from a dinner at Mar-a-Lago. I would assume that a private jet at Turning Point is nothing to them at this point. Of course, I'm not sure if it's their jet, but I would assume with the resources that are, given to Erika Kirk at this point, someone definitely gave her that jet to be able to take to this meeting with Candace, and then them being able to kind of, grow from there. I'm not sure, like I said, what exactly that might mean, but when you are helping people, you're also indebted to them. So, I wouldn't be surprised, you know what I'm saying, that they have a private jet. They probably got more than that going on. Let's keep it real.
And this was cracking me up. They were checking to see when that plane was going to land in Nashville and when it was going to depart from Nashville.
Yeah, a lot of people are invested in this. A lot of people are invested in what Candace does next and what Turning Point does next. They're very invested in what Erika Kirk has going on, and they're very invested in how this moves forward because, like I mentioned in my last live stream about Candace, a lot of people feel some type of way about what happened to Charlie, and a lot of people want answers, and they felt like Candace was giving them or leading them in that direction. Now, what I say is that Candace is a grifter. So in order for her to be able to generate all this buzz that she's generated, all these views and all these people in her chat, she would have to play that role. But in reality, like I always mention, she's only doing this because she was on the outside looking in. But what does it look like when the inside invites her in back again, right? What does it look like when the person that she's calling out to be the conspirer is actually saying, hey, let's have a meeting and let's talk about what you've been saying, and then we can go from there. Yeah, sounds a little fishy.
So they would know whether or not this conversation had ended. So they even picked up a scheduled departure time. They got the scheduled arrival and estimated departure listed for 4:45 p.m. That's what that is for those who don't know. It's military time. But it was just interesting. People were like, okay. And I think people were waiting to see if Candace was going to go live and have a stream about what took place during that same day, maybe later on that evening. Erika Kirk put out this statement, had a very productive conversation with Candace, more to come from both of us. Looking forward to AmFest this week. Time to get back to work.
Now, listen, this is the part of it, right? This is what happens right after the conversation. Now it's a positive conversation. We had a great conversation, right? Like I told you guys, man, Candace had a bone to pick because she was not included in the little circle. But now that she is included in the circle, what does that mean? Where does it go now? Right? And I think that's why a lot of people are holding her accountable, because they want to know what happened. What is the vibes?
And people saw this and were like,
make sure to like.
What does she mean, productive conversation? Right? Candace echoed this sentiment. Erika and I had an extremely productive, there's that word again, 4.5-hour meeting that I think we both feel should have taken place a lot earlier than it did. We agreed much more than I had anticipated.
Can you just say that I'm a prophet with this? All right. It should have happened much earlier. Yeah. What did I tell you guys? When that funeral happened and all that stuff after Charlie was assassinated, I meant this. Candace wanted to be there, but the fact that they didn't, that made her feel some type of way. It really upset her because she was being pushed out. And so when you're being excluded, what happens when you are actually included again? What does that do to your mindset? How does that change your narrative, right? Because I know this for a fact that Candace still yearns to be a part of that establishment. She still wants to be in that circle. She still wants to be a part of that organization. But in order for that to happen, right, she had to have this productive meeting with Miss Kirk herself. And so now the game really starts. And this is where I like to make sure that I always keep a stance on my channel, is the fact that we are going to hold these people accountable no matter what side you're on. Okay? Because when people say this is about America first, then you better be about America first, because what happens is the narratives change as soon as people get included in the in crowd. It's so high school, like, oh, the popular girl, yeah, I hate her until the popular girl says, hey, come hang out with us. So childish, but this is where we're at. And this is exactly why I was so like, I didn't understand why so many people were putting Candace on this pedestal as though she was this truth speaker and that she had no alliances, that she was just doing this for, for the truth of it all. Yeah, right. She was doing this because she had a bone to pick with the fact that she was on the outside of what she wanted to be on the inside of. Word.
Of course, we also disagreed on various points and people as well. Most importantly, we were able to share intel and clarify intent. I will, of course, have a full rundown for you all tomorrow as I am currently exhausted, but I wanted to quickly let you guys know absolutely nothing was held back. And the immediate result was that tensions were thawed.
Listen, guys, I make this clear. From an outside perspective and understanding how this works, all right? As soon as she got that conversation, as soon as Miss Kirk was inclined to go and see her, pulled up on her, that will change the narrative. And this is what I always say to people. A lot of people talk crazy on these internets, and a lot of people talk crazy from the glass house, right? But when somebody in your face, that's the real indicator if the energy is right. And I know for a fact that Candace does not keep the same energy when these people are in her face. I know that for a fact. So with that being said, she can't talk greasy. She can't talk all this talk that she be talking on the internet, because it's very easy to do that from the comfort of your own home. But when Erika's in your face, then we got to have a real conversation. Then we got to go ahead and see if you really about what you say you about, if you're going to stand on business for real. And I know for a fact that Candace doesn't do that because she's a grifter. She has no spine. She's willing to do whatever she has to do to be able to get her narrative off. And she played with y'all because, like I said, she knows how many views and how much people would have been in that live stream if she went out of her way to have that live stream that day. But for her to say, oh, I'm tired. Yeah, right. Tired of what? Getting money? Tired of what? Getting all the streams? Come on, man.
So some people saw that the other day, and they said, uh-oh, what does this mean? Right? So there's a poll that is linked to my live chat. Make sure you answer that about who you think this conversation actually benefited. And I'll tell you who I think it benefited in the end. So people were kind of waiting around to see, okay, are we going to hear from her? Is she going to tell us, like, what happened? In the meantime, Tim Pool decided to take it upon himself, and he decided to make a quite alarming statement.
And look, I like we talked about on my last live stream. Tim Pool has bone to pick with Candace personally, right? But in reality, they're all fighting for that same fan base. So now it's become a dog-eat-dog type of situation where one is trying to expose the other for being compromised from one side or the other, right? Candace made it clear that she was saying that Tim was compromised based on his allegiances to what? To those people over there, and it's not real, right? And so when you look at that, you can see the fact that, hey, if he already is compromised by Israel, his opinion can be debunked, right? But now, we're starting to see that Candace might be a little compromised based on this conversation that she had with Erika Kirk and, of course, the establishment, which is Turning Point USA.
About security. He's basically claiming that this is all for show and that Candace has the same security as Turning Point USA. Listen to this.
Okay. I'll say things that I probably shouldn't say, but I'm going to say, because I always get super heated on this. Candace Owens has the same security team as Turning Point and Charlie Kirk did. She's lying. She has the same security people. I've been digging into this. I've been meeting with people and talking with them. And I shouldn't say too much because there's more that's going to be coming out soon. Because rest assured, people are filing legal paperwork against her.
Listen, man, we talked about this on my last live stream, right? We talked about how they are doing this whole security thing. They're connecting the dots. They're putting this over here and that over there, right? And so now it's a game, right? It's a tennis game. One is trying to volley the other accusations on one side or the other. But I already told you guys that Candace already had allegiances to Turning Point USA from the jump. The only reason why she was upset was because she was not included in what she wanted to be at that funeral, right? She wanted that. And so it's hilarious because now we're starting to see it all come out.
Candace has the same security team or has used the same security companies and the same security personnel as Charlie and Erika did. So when she comes out and is questioning them, she is lying outright. Now, I've invited many of these people to come on. We'll see what happens. We'll see when they can. The issue is the moment Candace goes on her show to millions of people and lies, litigation begins. And what happens when litigation begins? People don't do interviews about it. She is exploiting this, and she knows she is, to keep people wrapped up in this insanity. Okay.
Okay. So I was a little bit confused when I saw this because it was just a week ago that Tim Pool said that she doesn't even have security.
And I played that clip, guys. I played that clip right here on Elite Media. All right. And I mean this. This is all fake. They're all just spewing lies about each other. No one has tangible information, right? But on the internet, there is no repercussions for lying and spewing propaganda that may lean one way or the other, right? There is no regulation here. So you can hop on here and say whatever you want. You can lie, create stories, create narratives, anything you want to do, you can do it on the internet. And so that's clear. Tim is a liar because he already said last week that she didn't have security and how upset he was about that. She can walk around and being chill without any real security, but he has to fear for his life, right? And that's a whole other story because a lot of these right wingers, they invested a lot in that type of rhetoric, talking crazy about a lot of people, not just one particular party of people. They've talked crazy about a lot of people over time. And so when you do that, you don't know who your enemy is. Anybody could run up on you and do what they got to do because of something that you said maybe a long time ago on this here internet streets. And listen, the internet does not forget, y'all. So be careful what you say on these internet streets, because eventually one day you're going to be held accountable for what you said. And that's why I'm always very careful about what I say. Always try to bring receipts, always try to bring something to back up my narrative and what I have to say, because I understand I live in the real world. All right. I'm a real person. I live in the real world. I have a business. I cannot be out here spewing BS that could affect me or my family because people know me for real. I'm not out here trying to say stuff that's inflammatory or that creates some level of division, or I'm just going at people for no reason. Everything that I speak on, you can look at all my videos, are always backed up with facts. All right. I don't just sit up here talking mess for no reason. Everything I do and say is backed up with history and facts. So you can look at that. And that's what I'm building my platform on, is truth and facts. No BS, because I'm a real person doing real things in the real world. All right. So make sure you guys like and subscribe if you support truth and real talk.
She has like this unprotected wall, and his words, not mine.
Make sure
one fat guy. So which is it? She has security or she doesn't?
It doesn't matter.
Now he's saying she has the same.
It doesn't matter, Sabrina. All right. It doesn't matter to these people whether it's the truth or not. They don't care. They are willing to say whatever they have to get views and subscribers. All right. They are willing to say whatever they have to create a viral clip. They are willing to do whatever, right, to be able to be somebody on the internet. All right. Not in the real world, but on the internet. They want to be an internet personality. They want to go viral for the wildest things that they can say. But in reality, now everybody's being held accountable for that. And unfortunately, Charlie Kirk had to lose his life. All right. He lost his life because of the things that he said about people. Whether you guys like that or not, whether you're willing to sit there or not, you always, as a man, all right, as a man, I don't talk about anything else outside of manhood. If you are a man, you will always be held accountable for your words. That's why the phrase word is bond is so true. Your word is your bond. So be careful, okay? Be careful what you say to people. Be careful what you say, right? Because it could come back to you in any capacity. All right. You want to be careful out here because you don't know the enemies that you may be creating. All right. Faceless enemies who could run up on you at any moment. All right. Tim Pool talked about his house getting shot up. Well, I'm not surprised, bro. You said a lot of crazy things over the years. You got to be careful what you say, man, because you're a man. Nobody treats you differently. You're a man. All right. Women can move differently. All right. Candace, she's a woman. All right. As a man, though, it's different repercussions for us. It's a different rule set. We live by a different code. So if you say things that you cannot back up, you say things that upset people and are inflammatory, you might be held accountable for that. And some people do not have the wherewithal and the mindset to be able to take something as just words. Some people are radicalized and they want to do something about that. They want to say and stand on it. And what are you going to do? Run and have security like a lot of these influencers and streamers and all these other people? They have to go around with a freaking security team just to go do regular stuff. How crazy is that to live, right? Where you're literally having to be in a fortress around yourself because you're afraid because of the things that you said about somebody, and you're going to have to be held accountable for it as a man. All right. And that's why I always try to sit up here on my channel and make it clear to the young brothers and even the old brothers. All right. You got to be careful what you say to people, man, because not everybody else is going to be on the same type of timing that you're on. Not a lot of people are going to be on that. Some people, all they need is one thing and it may trigger something inside of them that make them want to do something to you. So be careful what y'all say to people, man.
Security as Turning Point USA. So Candace did respond to that. You guys have got to see this. It gets kind of nasty. Apparently, Tim Cass is telling his audience that Charlie Kirk's security team is and was the same as my security team. This is complete and utter fiction. Charlie and I never employed the same security company, literally ever. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
And listen, this is getting real. Like I said, Tim, he has a bone to pick with Candace because they're fighting for the same fan base. All right. All of them are fighting for that same fan base. Right. And so, of course, he's going to be at her throat. Right. Every opportunity he gets. But Candace, being the woman that she is, she's going to push back, right? And so what's going to happen, right? What's up?
Of course, Tim Pool did respond. Be specific, Candace. Make sure you're very clear. You never had the same security people working for you that Charlie also used? Question mark.
Job, y'all.
This is where it gets pretty tense. I was clear, bitch.
Hey, man, look, this is what we do. I be trying to tell people, like, you don't, as men, you don't want to get in an argument with no woman, bro. You're not going to win, family. Just let it go, bro. Because you're going to get cooked every time, especially a guy like Tim Pool, who's a total nerd and has no fucking personality or charisma at all. Has the charisma of a shoe, all right? And so a guy like him trying to go back and forth with Candace, who is, you know, a wordsmith and extremely intelligent, way more intelligent than Tim, he ain't going to win that battle. You're not, bro. You're cooked, homie.
I said that Charlie and I never used the same security people. So your point that I was being a hypocrite by critiquing their actions that day is complete and utter trash. In fact, I regularly critiqued Charlie on his security team, and I'm sure I could dig up a text message or two to that effect.
Listen, man, and that's the point. We live in a new era. Your receipts got to be there if you're going to talk greasy, because otherwise you're going to get cooked every single time on this here internet. And that's what I'm starting to see now is now that we've kind of gotten past all this stuff right now, it's starting to get more serious where people are trying to, you know, equate one thing to the next. But in reality, you know what I'm saying? We all, like I said in my last live stream, nobody knows who or what happened to Charlie, right? But the grift is, let's speculate, let's create false narratives, let's create conspiracy theories to be able to speak definitively about this. And then I'll use my receipts to be able to back up my narratives, right? And Candace has been the best about bringing those receipts and being able to use the information that she has about Turning Point against them. And so now we're starting to see that a lot of people are upset about that. Clearly, like I played in the last live stream where Tim was so upset with her because with her going out of her way to expose what's happening, it exposed him and his fakeness. And that's just what happens sometimes. The truth exposes all fakes. And that's just where we're at.
This is where we're at now, folks. This is where we're at now. So it's getting heated. I also saw there was an article published by the New York Post that was putting out smears against Candace earlier today. So it's coming all in, right? There's a lot of attacks that are going on. Now, here's the thing. They made an agreement not to have a live stream, not to discuss this matter while they were meeting, while Erika and Candace were meeting. But Turning Point USA went live and talked about the issue. Listen to some of this.
Blake, happy Monday.
Is it?
Yeah, well,
Happy we got to Monday.
A lot of stuff went down this weekend, not the least of which, I just want to call out the elephant in the room. We had invited Candace Owens to be a part of a live stream today on this show, later today after our live show. She, of course, declined to show up in person. And then over the weekend, Erika Kirk announced that she's going to be meeting privately. And so with her. And so
sometime today.
And so per that tweet, she said basically all live streams, public discussions, and tweets are on hold until after this meeting.
Bit, guys,
we'll see what unfolds.
So we will see what
I'm alive. I'm totally fine. And I'm sorry. I was going to do a show for you guys this evening, but I am truly exhausted. Very productive conversation. I asked every single question. I mean, from Egyptian planes to Turning Point USA faith. And I was very surprised by some of the answers that I got. And I think they were also very surprised when I shared certain intel. This probably should have happened a very long time ago, but I wanted to let you guys know that I am alive, and I will have the full rundown for you guys tomorrow of what transpired. And yeah, I
listen, man, this is where she's at, y'all. it's an extension now, right? It's the anticipation. It's keeping you guys on the rope, right? Dangling the carrot, right? But not giving you guys what you want. That's a part of the grift. That is a part of the deception, right? To keep you guys on the hook, making you guys think that there's something more to this other than her being able to, join together, right? Because like I said, she wants to be a part of that establishment. She wants to be at Turning Point, right? She wants to be in the in crowd with Miss Erika Kirk. That's what she wants. And I was saying that from day one. And you guys got to wake up. All right. You got to wake up and see these people for who they are. They're using you guys for views. They're using you guys for money. They're using you guys for this back and forth feud, when in reality, all Candace wants to do is be accepted, right? All Candace wants to do is be a part of the in crowd. All Candace wants is to be a part of Turning Point USA. That's it. That's all. But you guys are going to sit up here and play the game. Like I said, there were so many people who were coming to me in my comments and also in real life saying, Brandon, dude, don't you see what Candace is doing, man? She's exposing everyone. No, she's exposing them because she feels slighted. She's bringing all this information to the forefront because she was upset that she wasn't a part of the Charlie Kirk funeral and all this stuff. She wasn't given the platform that she wanted. That's why.
I think it was definitely a very big step in the right direction. So
cooked.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Then this made some people wonder, what was this step in the right direction that she was referring to? So she did go live, and I do want to show you guys what was discussed. Let's just go back here. I do want to say, first and foremost, pull this here. Some people are not happy. Some people are not happy with what was said. And we're going to talk about some of it on here. Let me come out of here.
Let's see it.
Eric, can we get rid of
Here we go.
That were coming from various people at the company? Like, look, this is a company with 650 people that are employed. Everybody at this time is exceedingly emotional, and they are communicating. And no matter what somebody says on Twitter, they assume that this communication has come down from management, and that's not always a circumstance. But they owned right away, which felt great, that if you guys recall, Erika sat down with Glenn Beck. I actually missed this portion because I didn't get to watch the interview in its entirety, and we were pulling clips because a lot was coming out very quickly. But there was a portion that was going around that was viral, and it was Erika.
So you guys can peep the energy change, right? The energy shift, right? Just last week, she was so turned up. She was saying no. She said that she wanted this. She said she wanted that. Now look at how soft she's being, how careful, right? How very, very meek, right? The energy is different. The energy has shifted. I'm not the only one who peeps that. Y'all see it. You have eyes, don't you? Can you guys not see what's going on here? Can you not see the shift in the energy? I can see it.
Erika saying that she had Charlie's phone and that Charlie never texted anybody the night before, saying that he thought that they were going to kill him. And that obviously reflected poorly on me, because I was the one who said that crazy, he did, in fact, text multiple people the night before. And then I went on Jimmy Dore on Friday, Jimmy Dore's show, and I clarified. I said, Andrew Colvett told me specifically that he was one of the people that received this text message. So I got that first person. I didn't get that from a source. I got that directly from Andrew Colvett. And then somebody who had access to Dan Flood's communications said that Dan Flood similarly received a text message. They owned that right away and explained. Erika said that she has Charlie's phone. She's looking at his iMessages, and it turns out that he, like everybody else, communicates on Signal. He communicates on Telegram, and that those when she heard me say that, they then went and looked, and yes, that what I said was true. Andrew Colvett received a message the night before, and Dan Flood received a message the night before. Now they asked me if I had actually like a concrete a copy of what Dan Flood got the night before. And I said, no, somebody told me what it said, which was almost exactly what Andrew said, which is they're going to kill me. Andrew did not know who they were, that he was referring to were, but they clarified that the message that Dan Flood received said the left is going to kill me. So I can't confirm that one way or the other. I have to trust them on that.
Bro, if you guys don't see what's going on here, I don't know what else to say, man. Like the lies, like I said, the changing up of energy, the way that she's coming about this, she got a good talking to, okay? And I don't know what they said to her, but they let her know to be careful about when you saying these things, right? And the fact that she's saying, oh, yeah, it was speculation. I didn't really see the paperwork. And they asked her for it and she wasn't willing to give it. It's because she never had it. And I told y'all this. I told you guys since day one that Candace doesn't know what's going on. All it was rumors, propaganda. Somebody told me this. He say, she say. And she's going out on her platform telling y'all that it's fact. Come on, man. You guys not see what's going on here. I know that, you know what I'm saying, I'm just a guy. I'm a regular guy. But I know when people are lying. And I know when people are spreading propaganda. All right. I've been on the internet a very long time. All right. I've worked in the music industry. I know how propaganda works and marketing. Okay. And the propaganda of what Candace was doing was she had a bone to pick because not only was she Charlie's friend, but they also kicked her out of the in crowd. So naturally, she's going to have a lot of bravado about this or that. Somebody did this. They conspired against him. It was an assassination. This, that, and the third. But in reality, she had no real facts other than the text messages that she would exchange with Charlie, bro. So when I look at this, I'm like, come on, guys, y'all gotta wake up, man, because there's no way that she can come on this internet spreading these lies, nobody holding her accountable, but y'all are so emotional that you'll believe anything that she says because it fits your narrative and it helps you sleep at night thinking that, oh, there was a conspiracy against Charlie, when in reality, nobody knows what happened, not even the FBI. Okay, because we haven't heard any updates about anything other than this fake guy who they rolled out and said was the shooter. Okay, and mind you, we still don't know if that's him. Nobody has any factuals yet. And Candace was able to generate millions of dollars off of the innocent people who are emotionally attached to Charlie and his assassination. And she was able to use y'all for views, to grow her profile, to grow her net worth, and to be able to come back, talk to Erika Kirk and say, you know what? We had a productive conversation. You guys, man, y'all got to wake up, bro.
Because I did not see that concrete message. I was told that it said they.
Wake up.
We're going to pause right here. Yeah. So here's the thing, right? This text message that happened that said that, or Charlie saying that they were going to kill him or whatever. I've used Signal before in the past as well. I find it very strange that Andrew Colvett knew that, but Charlie didn't tell his wife, Erika, that. Like never once ever mentioned his concern about. What was weird to me.
Listen, man, it's funny because everybody knows what's going on, but everyone's scared to say it. Everybody lying to y'all. And that's the point. That's where I come from. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to come and speak it. All right. Everybody lying. Everybody lying. Nobody knows what's going on. Right. Imagine being in a marriage. Right. Imagine being with somebody and you are fearing for your life and that partner does not know and you don't talk to them about that. I'm sorry, man. I've been in very, very close relationships and every single detail of what was going on with me, I would tell my girl. All right. Because that's just natural. It's a person you live with. It's a person who's closest to you. Naturally, you're going to express yourself, whether it's good or bad. Things that you're going through, you're going to express yourself. So the fact, like she said, that there was never a conversation about this, That sounds a little weird to me, man. And I'm not trying to be like, a conspiracy theorist, but hey, man, we smarter than that. All of us are smarter than this. All of us have eyes. All of us have ears. All of us know when somebody's lying and when somebody's telling the truth. All right.
Control. You guys are going to be the reason that Israel gets TikTok because you guys are acting a fool all the time. And the videos were so hilarious of you guys mocking the Barry Weiss interview. It's great. It's good to laugh at ourselves. And Barry Weiss is always worth laughing at. But I was sort of like, hey, I felt name checked by the podcaster, Candace Owens, this obvious setup, and then asking me to stop. And it's interesting to hear Erika say that the reason she didn't ask me to stop in the beginning, because she was actually learning things from the show. She was actually learning things, and that I think she similarly felt that Barry Weiss was trying to create a moment. Obviously, it's who Barry Weiss is. It's the Zionist lobby. She's trying to right perceived wrongs because I'm against her side. That does not surprise me. That's kind of why Barry Weiss exists. That's the reason they put her at CBS, is because she's just committed to stacking the audience with people that are going to present the pro-Israel cause and talk about anti-Semitism and talk about like crime being on the rise. It's kind of an embarrassment, but
listen, man, this is, like I said, it's all just mumbo jumbo babble. All right. All babble. We want to know what happened in that meeting. We don't care about Barry Weiss, yo. We want to know what you guys talked about and why now the energy has shifted. Why now are you being much more careful about what you say? And that, she was learning from what I was saying. No, they were waiting to make sure that they could go ahead and be able to reach a certain point. And now it's like, hey, man, you keep talking, it's on.
If that was all true, I still didn't feel good about the conversation that I had with Terrell, and I can't ignore my gut about the many little lies that he told. I thought the video he recorded was weird. I know he comes from a very powerful family. I personally do not trust him. And I obviously do not like the fact that I said, Tyler Boyer lied about this thing and came up with an excuse and said, well, Terrell was asked to take the camera down. That's the reason, he said on Twitter, because the police wanted him to take it down and secure the footage. And I said, I know that's not true. And they said, well, after all of that, after he took the cameras down, there was a police officer or Fed, whoever it was, that spoke to him and asked him to secure the footage. Well, that makes sense, but it's not a reason for why he took it down immediately. It makes sense that as you're investigating, you're going to say, who's got the footage? Let's lock it down. But it didn't make sense to me that Tyler Boyer lied about it. And I don't trust Tyler Boyer. And that is never going to change. Similarly with Rob McCoy, he makes my skin crawl. I can't explain it.
Listen, as we continue to get through the BS and the mumbo jumbo, we still have to hold the line. You were saying that all these people were lying to you. You were saying that there was a conspiracy at Turning Point USA against Charlie Kirk. And we want to know, were you telling the truth or not? We don't care about the mumbo jumbo about these people who you don't trust and all this other stuff. We want to know what the conversation was. And she still did not tell us. And that's the grift, guys. All right. I don't want to sit up here for hours going through dissecting every single word that she said, because at the end of the day, we already know what's going on. But my standpoint is, from a real perspective, if she was having these conversations, if this was what was going on, why are we not getting the information? Right? What really happened? Tell us, because we want to know. Everybody has a bone to pick here. And look, the fact that she didn't, and the fact that she just talked in circles, talked about everybody else and all this other stuff, man, I'm telling y'all, dude, this is it. This is what we're going to see. And now, as we continue, let's see if Candace keeps her foot on the gas like she did these last couple of months since Charlie had been assassinated. And let's see if she still is on that type of time. I don't think she is. I think, like I said, I think it's over. I think Erika talked to her. They had a real conversation, and she said, yo, you got to chill. Ain't no more of that. Ain't no more of this. This is the narrative now, and you better stay on code if you want to be on the inside. And that's what it is. That's what we're about to see. We're going to see if Candace wants to really be in or not. because she's about to, like I said, she's about to tell on herself, and it's about to happen right in front of our eyes. And so y'all keep your eyes open, man. Pay attention to what you see. Don't just be so easily influenced by the BS, right? Use a critical mind. Think for yourself, okay? Because at the end of the day, I told y'all that this was going to happen. I told you guys, as soon as Erika talks to her, as soon as they, from Turning Point USA, put that pressure face to face, we're going to see a different energy. And that's what we're seeing. And I'm not the only one who peeps that. Y'all let me know in the comments. Y'all let me know in the chat if y'all see the shift in energy, because I do. And I see it from a mile away. I already knew, man, as soon as I heard that Erika Kirk was going over there to see Candace, I knew what that was. And I knew exactly what was going to happen afterwards. All this elongation of the live streams. And I'm sure it was thousands of people in that live stream. I can only imagine how many people is in that live stream. And look, for all that to get nothing, hey, man, this is where we at, man. Like I said, Candace can talk. She's very charismatic. She's got, a lot of very good, intelligent words and all this stuff. But she is just a tool like all the rest of them. She is here to be used. She is here to H herself out to the highest bidder. All right. She wants to be on the inside so bad. And guess what? If we keep looking at it, that's what's going to happen. All right. She's going to be able to grift her way all the way to the top. And all y'all who went out of your way to act like, oh, she's doing this or she's doing that. Well, how do you feel now? How do you feel now? All right. So I'm going to head out. You know what I'm saying? That's all I had to say. This is going to be a quick live stream for me because at the end of the day, I already set the tone. Already got the videos on my channel. It's already there. So y'all let me know how y'all feel about this, because personally, like I said, I don't really care either way. But at the end of the day, it's important for me to make sure that I continue to smash the gas on this story and keep y'all informed, the people who subscribe to me. All right. Because on Elite Media, we bring receipts and we always going to speak the truth. You feel me? So make sure you guys like and subscribe, man. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs. So please make sure you all like and subscribe, man. If you support truth, if you support unbiased commentary, you're going to subscribe to Brandon B and Elite Media. All right. So much love to everybody out there who shows up. Salute to all of my new subscribers and salute to everybody who will be subscribing in the future. My name is Brandon B. This is Elite Media and I'm out.